Hey yo, what is up, guys? Your boy is back with my WrestleMania 21 Goes Hollywood video and review of some of the matches on the card because back at WrestleMania 21 in 2005, WWE went to Hollywood. I believe they did. When did they do Hollywood before that? I think they did one. I know they were in Anaheim before. Was it WrestleMania 12? And was it WrestleMania 3? Where was WrestleMania 3 held? Was it in Los Angeles? I want to say it was, but I don't know if that's right. Anyways, let's talk about this show. Now, this show, it's remembered for having like one of the greatest first halves, and then it kind of falls off in like the second half. So, my experience with this, I still was not yet like I had seen wrestling before this, but I was not like hooked like I was the following year in 2006 is when I like became like a wrestling fan. This year, it's fun. It's great for me to go back and watch because you can kind of see like this is the show like which I thought 39 could have been, but it wasn't because it could have launched a lot of great careers for people like Finn Balor, Cody, Dominic. Even though I think the Dominic match he didn't necessarily have to win that one, I think it was more important for Finn and Cody to win their matches. But here we have the launching of Batista and John Cena. Randy Orton, I mean, he was in a match with The Undertaker. So yeah, you have a lot of younger talent meeting the past generation here of the Attitude Era stars, meeting the current stars of the Ruthless Aggression Era, and launching those into the future, which a lot of these guys carried the company to this day, essentially. Randy's injured now and Cena's part-time and Batista's in Hollywood, but yeah, this is kind of these guys, when you really think back in the Ruthless Aggression Era, you think back on these guys. So let's start it off with, again, I guess I kind of just mentioned it, a guy who was big star in the Ruthless Aggression Era, still around today, Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero, and this match was an absolute clanger. I love this match. I think it was really, really great, and I think everyone should watch this match. I'm looking forward to reviewing matches and shows from 2005 because they have a whole series of matches here. And yeah, so this was this was a complete clanger. The speed of the match, the lucha wrestling and the counters between the guys, like you just have to watch it. Like I love this kind. It wasn't like today where it's just like kind of like it just feels like really, really. I don't know how you say this. Like it doesn't. It just didn't have like the same like they were trying to win the match. It seemed like it was actually two skilled lucha wrestlers who who were lucha. Whereas now today it's like not even people who are luchas do luchas. You know what I'm saying? So this is like a really, really great lucha match in WWE, and I'd highly recommend checking this out because this is a really, really great match. Man, there was this really, really cool spot where I think like Ray went for like a scissors, but Eddie caught him and powerbombed him. So yeah, he did the tilt-a-whirl into the backbreaker, which looked absolutely amazing. Eddie did a step over crossface, the STF, which is a move John Cena used. So yeah, Eddie Guerrero used that here. There was just a lot of really unique counters in this match, and I really love this match. And Ray, he actually wins this match with a roll-up. And yeah, this match is one of those ones you really have to go and see, especially if you're a fan of that high-flying style, lucha style, like true lucha style. This is a match for you. So yeah, moving on to the inaugural Money in the Bank ladder match. This match, it had a lot of talent here. There's only 6 competitors in it. Kane, Edge, Chris Jericho, Shelton Benjamin, Chris Benoit, and who the frick else? And Christian. So yeah, a lot of Canadian representation here. As there was a lot of really great Canadian representation because I'm Canadian, so I obviously really, really like seeing Canadian people on the shows. I'm not like one of those people where it's like I need to see Canadian. It's just like for me, it's really cool because it's like it shows that like people like from Canada and stuff go on and become these big stars, and it's just really, really cool to see that in America, and that's really great. So land of opportunity for sure. Anyways, this match here, everyone got a chance to shine. It's the first Money in the Bank, so you could very much say it's the best one just due to what they had to accomplish here. And I thought the match was great. There was just so many like legendary spots, like the Shelton Benjamin running up the ladder spot. One thing I'd like to add is that all like the dives and stuff to the outside made more sense here than they do in every other match. And I'll explain that why. Because every other match, when they do the dive, it's like they never win with the move. But here, obviously, they're not going to win with the move. It's more to incapacitate your opponent. Like, so it makes more sense like when Kane jumps off and dives onto everyone with that flying clothesline in the beginning of the match, or they all like ganged up on Kane with the ladders, which was really cool. I think there was a moment where like Benoit did an awesome flying headbutt, because it's like the point of the match is you got to incapacitate your opponents or they're just going to run up the ladder. So you got to take chances and you got to keep people down. Like Chris Jericho, I think he got shoved off the ladder with Kane towards the end. There was no like flying spear. There was a really cool moment where Edge and Christian, they did actually like get back together. They put the band back together here in this match. So that was a really, really great moment. And yeah, this match here, it's one of the it's easily the most important Money in the Bank ladder match for obvious reasons, but also, like I said earlier, Edge, though he was around in the Attitude Era and early 2000s and stuff, he never was like the guy up until here when he wins Money in the Bank. So this is really a match that not only showed off how great of the athletes the wrestlers were, it showed off just how great it just was a great starting path for Edge going forward into the future. And it's something he gets to hang his hat on, and it's such a great thing for Edge. So very much mirroring Seth Rollins, like the cash in and the Money in the Bank at WrestleMania 31, whereas Edge just winning it was just such an inaugural moment. So yeah, great stuff. That match is awesome. So obviously all these matches are worth checking, especially this next one here. Randy Orton versus Undertaker, Legend Killer versus The Streak. Yes, I think Undertaker was like 13-0 or 12-0 at this point. So I've reviewed a few of the Undertaker Streak matches up to this point, 9, 19, and here we are at 21. So obviously I think Randy Orton's one of the best opponents he's had, and this is obviously one of the best matches he's had with The Streak. Obviously Kane and Triple H and Jake the Snake Roberts all came before this. So yeah, this here, it was a really, really great match, and I really like this match. Very, very old school, just in the style of the wrestling with the wrestling holds and the building up to the big moves. And yeah, just really, really cool. So there was a lot of strikes. Orton obviously striking with Undertaker and hitting the uppercuts on him, which looked really great. And yeah, it was like a really, really awesome match, especially with all like the little counters they did, like the counter from the choke slam into the RKO. It was awesome. The Undertaker's counter into the like Randy Orton was going for the tombstone. Undertaker reversed out to the tombstone. They actually did that same thing in a lot of the other matches. I think the Triple H matches did the same thing. The CM Punk match, which I also talked about, they did that. So this is where the first, I think, time that move was used. Maybe they used it with Kane a bit before, but that was like a little bit before. But I really, really enjoyed this match. This is actually one of the most, like, a match I'll just always like throw on and watch. It's just one of those matches really, really easy to watch and just gets you in the right mood, obviously. So yeah, big thumbs up for me. I really like this match. It's one of Randy Orton's best WrestleMania performances, and yeah, just a really, really solid showing for the Undertaker. And yeah, I loved it. So okay, we got to talk about it. A Shawn Michaels match at WrestleMania, baby! I am so stoked to talk about this match. Shawn Michaels, Kurt Angle. I remember when I think I was like 14. I still hadn't seen this match yet, but I watched the promo, and I was going to Calgary with my mom and stuff, and I watched the promo, and I was so stoked to watch this match when I got home, and I was like, oh man, it has such a wicked promo. And with like the Kurt Angle being like, man, I won an Olympic gold medal in 1996, and all I heard about was Shawn Michaels wrestling a classic in the Iron Man match, and it was just such a great little like moment for it. And then yeah, that was the same day I actually got one of my favorite games, Infamous. So yeah, sorry, really great memories for me in this match here. This is one of the greatest matches in wrestling history here. Just everything about it. I love Shawn Michaels matches. Just like the beginning with Shawn Michaels and Kurt Angle like wrestling each other, like actual like wrestling moves and stuff, to the chops, to Kurt Angle kind of like taking the advantage on the outside, like Olympic slamming Shawn Michaels into the barricade, not the barricade, the ring post, where he takes advantage on the inside and starts working over Shawn Michaels' back, and Shawn Michaels has got to battle his way out of it. And like Shawn Michaels got Kurt in a headlock. Like I'm not one of the people who hate the headlock. Some people hate the headlock. Makes sense. Get that mofo tied up in that fool. Anyways, yeah. So this match was really sick. Like the whole like when Kurt's like trying to suplex him out on the floor, but Shawn, he's hanging on to the ropes, and dude, I love this match. And then like Shawn, he does the freaking springboard from the ring to the table, and dudes, just go watch this match. Just watch this match. Kurt Angle going for the moonsault, missing. Shawn Michaels hitting the elbow, and he keeps trying to hit the super kick, and then Kurt catches him in the ankle lock until he eventually does get the super kick. And oh my gosh, this match was just wild, dude. And then Kurt eventually getting him in the ankle lock, and the entire crowd is like freaking out, like, is Shawn gonna make it to the ropes? And he's like reaching, he's fighting, and you're like, oh man, you could just feel that ankle lock. Like, you're just like, oh man, his legs probably just killing him right now. Oh man, this match here is one of the best. Thank you God for this match. Like, as you guys can tell, I don't need to gush over it anymore. I gushed over the Chris Jericho match. I gushed over this match. This match, an all-time clanger. All-timer. Like, you see, like, all the matches and stuff are just awesome up to this point. Let's move on to the next match. John Cena versus JBL. John Cena's launching career moment. Funny enough, I actually just reviewed his match with Brock Lesnar at Backlash 2003, which he first wrestled for the WWE Championship. Now here we are where he wins the WWE Championship. Honestly, the promo for this was awesome, and it had a really, really solid build with like them not being able to touch each other, and John Cena like spray painting JBL's car. So this was a really, really solid build. Like, the promo for this is awesome. It's actually way better than the match. The match was just kind of JBL just kind of smash mouth wrestler, not exactly the most interesting stuff in the world. Everything looked good, but the match itself, it just was like, this is a world title match at WrestleMania. It's like, I'd rather have seen whatever. It's just really the point of the match is John Cena, he wins his first world championship. Not exactly the most exciting match in the world. He kind of just like hits him with like 2 or 3 moves. He powers out. He kind of Hogan's out, actually, really. It was a very Hogan-esque victory here for John Cena, like on Superstars. Gets beat down, powers up, gets the victory. All right, moving on. So Triple H and Batista, they have their big culmination match here. Batista won the 2005 Royal Rumble, and here is where we have the big time match between the two. And it was always like, oh, where's Batista going to go? Is he going to align with Triple H? Is he going to go to SmackDown? But nah, he decides to, take down Triple H here. And honestly, this is a great story. And some people consider this like one of the best stories in the WWE that they've ever actually done. And I can very much see why. Like, the evolution story, very great stuff here. Anyways, this, I have to say, though Triple H, you got to walk out to Motorhead, which is really sick. The match itself, like, I mean, I'd rather have seen Shawn Michaels and Kurt Angle just close the show. I know why, like, it's the World Championship, blah, blah, but it's just like both world title matches were kind of letdowns. I'd rather have seen Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels close the show because all-time clanger. The match itself, again, it goes along with Triple H and his WrestleMania main event duds. Like, not all of Triple H's main events have been duds, obviously, but like the match with Chris Jericho at WrestleMania 18 came off kind of flat. The match at WrestleMania 16, I think, was sort of flat too because it was a fatal 4-way. 25, some people don't like it. I think I actually like the match. I mean, we'll talk about it at some point here. 32 versus Roman Reigns. So yeah, a lot of Triple H's matches have been kind of underwhelming, and this is no different. Batista, he was insanely new. Though he was really over, I don't deny how over he was. He was clearly on some sauce. We can all agree on that. Like, his body is just completely insane. Like, for bodybuilder standards, like, the guy just looks like a freaking cut piece of metal. I don't even know how to describe it to you, but yeah. So Batista, though he was really over, he wasn't exactly ever the greatest wrestler in the world, and I know that's not exactly like the most important thing. He was very much a Goldberg kind of esque wrestler, though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't a great, like, just a lot of like the little things he did here in the ring. Though he said he was injured in it, I know, but it was just like a lot of his other matches didn't really speak too well, other than, yeah. So what this match was kind of about was Batista being the new, bigger, stronger guy, and Triple H being the older, stronger guy, having to overcome this powerhouse here and Batista. And he really struggled with that. Batista would hit the big moves on him. Triple H would be like, oh my gosh, how did he hit that move on me? But like Triple H, he eventually takes advantage. I think it was it Batista or Triple H who got thrown into the ring post and they were bleeding all over the place? I think it was Triple H. So yeah, I think by the end of this, they were both bleeding all over the place. So yeah, the most I could really say about this is, I mean, Batista, I think he just hits like one Batista bomb, 1, 2, 3, gets the win. Batista has his big moment in the main event. Again, I think Batista, maybe they had thought he'd be the guy, but Cena just got so much more over, I guess. Anyways, so finishing up, the story was great. The match was okay. It just wasn't a WrestleMania main event match, even though the story was WrestleMania main event worthy. It's just the match, Batista being so new, Triple H not being, I don't know how you really say. He was never really a clutch player in the main event of WrestleMania the way some other people were, like Shawn Michaels or Bret Hart was. So it just kind of is kind of the truth, and that's kind of my feelings towards it. I guess we'll talk more about that in the future. But yeah, overall, WrestleMania 21, it's a must-watch show. I think it's one of the greatest WrestleManias ever. I think it's easily like maybe it's easily a top 10. I mean, just based off the first half alone, Money in the Bank, Rey Mysterio, Eddie, Orton, Undertaker, Angle, Michaels, like those matches alone are just like, you got a pretty stacked card there. And even though like the two later matches weren't great. They were great for what they set up for the people in the future. So you can really say this show alone set up all the way through WrestleMania 30. You could really argue about the stars that they set up here were still prevalent about 10 years later. So yeah, really good stuff from WWE. Yeah, I really like the show. It's always a fun time to go back. Ruthless Aggression, just my time, 2005, 2006, 2007, my era of wrestling. I really like watching matches and shows from that time. So yeah, I'll be back with another review. I think I'm going to do Backlash 2005 coming up here in honor of Backlash coming up here in the upcoming weeks. So yeah, stay tuned for that, guys. Anyways, peace out.